Hey everybody, it is Wednesday the 14th, and market kind of ground higher here today. We're still above a rising 5-day moving average, which means in the intermediate term, we're innocent until proven guilty. However, we are at the 61.8% retracement of this high to this low right here. That is 61.8% right here. That's what that line is. We are also at this prior band of support in here, which support broken tends to act as resistance as there's price memory here looking to get out break even. Doesn't mean it is going to run into supply, but it's certainly worth noting and paying attention here. We've had a run from 510 to 540, so 30 points. That's a nice move here off the lows just last Monday. So it pays to be cautious in here. Really, for the indexes, they're too choppy for me right now. Today, at least, they were to trade from even a short-term standpoint. What I'd like to see is maybe tomorrow we see an inside day or even a little bit deeper pullback, perhaps down towards the anchor from the high. And if that holds, maybe then we see the 5-day moving average come up to it. And in a couple days, if we then break below that 5-day moving average, then we can look at this and say, hey, that was a bounce, and now it's time to get short, perhaps for a drop down to the anchor from last Monday's low. If instead it finds buyers there and continues higher, well, then that's what we have to plan for and wait for the market to tell us which way it wants to go. But for now, we have run far, so we have to ask, where has it come from? Again, 7.5% or so. Where does it have the potential to go before it's likely to run into a source of supply that might become resistance? We have prior support. We have a declining 20-day moving average. We have a flattened out 50-day moving average. We have a 68.2% retracement right here. So basically, it means right in this area, meaning the odds for a long trade on the index doesn't make sense. To me, it's more of an individual stock trading market. That's what I try to focus on each day in Alphatrends. The NASDAQ is right up against the anchor from the all-time high, and it has broken this downtrend line. It's broken below the anchor from this peak right here, and maybe it finds buyers if it pulls back in that area. We're at a 50% retracement in here, and the bigger level of potential supply is really up at 475. So we have a rising 5-day moving average, innocent until proven guilty. If you short it, I think it should be for day trades only until we see some better evidence that this was, in fact, some distribution in here, kind of what I just outlined in the NASDAQ, in the S&P. Maybe it does something like this in the next coming days, and then even into next week, and perhaps then the anchor off of that low. We have that 5-day moving average get trapped under that, and then perhaps we begin another leg lower. It's certainly something to be aware of in terms of a possibility. It's definitely not a prediction. I'm going to go either way, but when the market has run this far, this fast into important levels, it tells me go slow in here. The Russell 2000 is broken. It's garbage. It's a waste of time. Semiconductors are continuing their recovery as well. They're right up against the 50% retracement area right here, as well as the anchor from the all-time high. That's this purple line. So where have we come from? Where do we have the potential to go? Well, we still have the possibility we can continue to move higher here, but what are the odds? Maybe we can make it up to the 61.8% retracement, and that's why I don't want to short it, because what if it just continues to do this, and those other markets as well? What if it continues to do this and runs straight up into this level before we find any real supply? Or maybe it just doesn't find supply at all. Resistance is only known after the fact. Until then, it's a level of interest where we say, hey, do we want to take action, or do we want to wait for evidence, or switch to a shorter term time frame and say, hey, maybe I'm going to be a day trader in here and look for opportunities. There was a great opportunity today in the SPY, by the way, as it gapped up, pulled back, touched the 2-day VWAP, and then one of the chapters in the anchored VWAP goes over this in great detail about buying above that level right there. Let's go back to the semiconductors, because we've traveled far. We're at a level of potential resistance with that declining anchor from the high, but you don't want to short it until there's the evidence. Wait for the institutions to do the major selling to prevent it from going higher. In other words, releasing supply in this area, and then see how it unfolds from there. There's no reason to be early. Biotech stocks are running into supply where they're supposed to with this prior band of support. I'm not convinced they're ready to recover yet. They're above a rising 5-day moving average. They're at a prior band of support. We've got the anchor off of this peak right here, and that one we're still closing below. So to me, what's more likely, probably just more chopping around in the biotechs. To me, they look like a waste of time. Financial stocks, they did not find supply where they were supposed to, which is a good thing because I don't want to short at a perceived level of resistance. So let's just clear that all up. This is what I had been drawing in for Alphatrends subscribers, saying here's a potential source of supply that might become strong enough to offer offer resistance, and then it could back lower. Instead, what do we see? Well, the financials ripped right through that. That other people will say, hey, there's resistance there. Well, guess what? The market said there was no resistance. Support and resistance are only known after the fact. When the 5-day moving average is rising, you give the benefit of the doubt to the buyers, and if the larger time frame gives you an inconsistent message, well, then inconsistency simply means slow down. Take your foot off the gas a little bit. Energy names still chopping around underneath their prior band of support, and just a big mess in here.